Howdy, folks.
Tomorrowland Transit Authority Metroliner non-stop, now departing Rockefeller Plaza Station for a round-trip Super Skyway tour.
Remember. So, Ron, you ready to tell us about your first trip?
As I was recalling and trying to put together what was so cool about this trip in 1976, one is, why was I so excited about Disney? And Disney, over the years, and even back then, did an incredible job of marketing. But every Sunday night, Wonderful World of Disney would come on. The opening scene would show the monorail going, and they'd show different clips from the park. And occasionally they would even do some broadcasts that centered around the park, but it wasn't entirely just park promotion. It drew you in and made Disney a place you wanted to visit. Another memory that really had me, and to this day, has me wanting to spend the night in the Contemporary is, do you guys remember, did you guys have weekly readers when you were in school?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
They had the center section of that was all about Disney and how the monorail was designed to go through this hotel called the Contemporary, and it would show the restaurants, and it just did it. And I was just like amazed that this train could go through a building without the doors needing to be closed. And I mean, it was just something that reverberated with me. I'm also from Ohio, so Ohio has some really good amusement parks. We made a yearly trek to Kings Island on a regular basis, right? And so we understand what an amusement park is. While we knew Disney was different, we were still going in as a kid. Well, I'm going in, we're gonna have big thrills and major hills and all kinds of fun. Everybody had started making their treks down to Walt Disney World even back then. And I remember my 5th grade teacher told her experience about Space Mountain and how her son was all game ho, ready to go, and she was the one that was truly frightened by this roller coaster that's indoors and you don't know where you're going, and so that brought a lot of excitement about going to Disney World. I distinctly remember coming into Walt Disney World, where you drive in and coming up to that same parking credenza that you come to pay for parking was very similar to what it is now. And you'd go into the monorail station, you had the choice between going to the ferry or to the monorail. And when we rode through the Contemporary on the monorail as a kid, it was just it was the most incredible thing that I think I had experienced to that point.
That's a beautiful view of it. Whenever you look at the Contemporary coming out of there, it's something you have to stop and stare at.
And I'm with you on that.
I still enjoy staring at it. It's weird.
Absolutely. I can remember that as a kid. I don't remember where I saw it, if it was, Disney Channel or whatever, but I remember that knowing that I was going there finally someday, and knowing that I was going to get to see the monorail go through the hotel and everything. I can definitely remember that as a kid, being just amazed that they could do that, just like you said.
And then to walk in and the music and it just was Disney definitely knows how to create an atmosphere in that place that you just feel happy to be there. And so that was still true then. Everything I'm saying makes it sound like, well, he copped the Disney bug pretty well back in 1976, but then we went into and started trying to find the rides. And you got to remember, in 1976, there wasn't Splash Mountain, there wasn't Thunder Mountain Railroad. The one thrill ride that they really had was Space Mountain. And we didn't come to that for some time. I remember doing the Bear Jamboree. Even in the 80s, that was incredible technology. In 1976, you didn't see anything like that unless you went to a place like Disney or other parks, but even other parks really didn't do it justice like Disney. Disney, you really felt like these things were alive.
Space Mountain was built or opened in 75, so you got to see it when it was brand new. If you were there in 76, it was a brand new attraction. So it was literally state of the art in 1976. So that's pretty cool.
Knowing that a roller coaster was inside a building that blew everybody away. You may know, could you ride the People Mover? I know you could see Space Mountain, but they didn't turn the lights on, right?
No, the lights are only when there's a malfunction thing going on. That's when you see the lights. But yes, the People Mover opened with Space Mountain in 76.
Okay, so yeah, we got on the People Mover, and you could see.
I'm sorry, 75, not 76.
Like reflectors on the cars.
Yeah, the cars used to glow in the dark, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think it does that anymore. I don't think the cars glow anymore, but they did. So did they glow in the dark in 76?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
When you drove by, you could see the cars, they were blur because they were going, at least I remember them as a blur. They probably weren't a blur, but I remember them as a blur because, again, this is all new technology. This is not glow in the dark, was not something that you could just go to the store and buy a sticker that glowed in the dark. The unfortunate part is we were looking for thrill, and we found details that we didn't appreciate, like the Tom Sawyer Island. I don't have the picture, but I distinctly remember taking a picture holding the paintbrush of, and here's the thing, you remember, my dad is not a sit and ponder. He's a let's go. And so I had to pull my mom. I had to stop my mom. No, I want a picture with this Tom Sawyer paintbrush. Why I wanted that, I don't know, but I wanted a picture of me painting the fence at Tom Sawyer's Island. But I also distinctly remember thinking it was the most boring part of Disney, being on Tom Sawyer's Island.
I know for a while that finding the paintbrush was a big deal. Like if you found the first kid to find the paintbrush on Tom Sawyer's Island every day, you would get some sort of prize. And do you remember?
I wish I would have known that, but
yeah, that was, and I don't know if they were doing it in 76 or what, but I remember reading something that for a long time, that was a big deal. You had to be the first kid to find it every day, but they would hide it on Tom Sawyer Island. And then the first kid to find it got some sort of prize. I didn't know.
How cool is that? I had not heard that. That's a neat way to add some fun to that attraction, though.
Well, yeah, if you're the first kid, after that,
you're the true.
But how did you get over to Tom Sawyer Island?
They had a raft.
Yeah,
right. It was a boat basically, but it was designed like a raft. So that's a great question, Tony, because when we were going over to Tom Sawyer Island, I was amazed because they had this raft that they could put so many people on, and they truly had it look like they were guiding it with nothing, basically, how you would that old raft. You just have a board in the water,
like a rudder, right?
Just a rudder. And now you can look and see the tracks for both the steamboat and for the raft. I don't think the raft is there anymore, but 1976, as you guys know, was the Bi-Centennial Year, so everything was patriotic.
Yeah,
and everything was red, white, and blue. Even the parade is. So I'll go into some of the things that I found disappointing as a kid at Disney. One is you've seen these characters on TV, and we've talked about it earlier a little bit about character meets. Dude, you did not see the characters at Disney. You saw them in the parade, and that was it. And I was really disappointed because I wanted to meet Mickey Mouse. I wanted to get a picture with Mickey, and I remember being very, very disappointed that I was excited because we saw him in the parade, and I'm thinking, well, at the end of the parade, they'll start walking around and stuff, and they didn't. You didn't see the characters after the parade. The other disappointing thing that really hit me hard was you had to buy a ticket book. That ticket book included your entry to the park, but you could buy an 8 ride, a 12 ride, a 17 ride book. But from that book, you'd have to choose rides that you could ride. For 8 rides, the ticket cost was $7.25. Includes admission to the Magic Kingdom and use of the transportation system and admission to 8 attractions. If you wanted to do 12 attractions, it was $8.20, and I'm giving you the adult price. They did have a junior price, which I don't think they even have this anymore. For a junior ticket was ages 12 to 17, that was $6.75. And then they had a child's ticket, which you had to pay if they were 3 or older, $6.25.
When you were talking about that and talking about $1976, I went to a cost of living inflation calculator on my phone real quick.
Oh, cool.
So for 1976, you said that 8 ride ticket was $7.25.
Yeah.
Comparable, that is in today's dollars, $33.92. So that was not cheap. That was not cheap in 1976. That was a lot of cash.
Yeah.
And I know my parents well enough that, and more so my dad, that there's no way we went for 8 rides. We went for they would have had 3 children, 1 junior and 2 adults they were paying for. And the children were $7.25. The junior was $7.75, and adults were $8.25. But wow, with that calculator, what that gives you real perspective of what vacations to Disney were costing that.
So that adult ticket for $8.25, in today's equivalent, it would be $38.60. So that's $38 to get through the door, and you're only getting, would you say that was the 8 ride ticket?
That was the 12.
So
12 rides.
the 12. Okay. So it wasn't cheap. I mean,
No.
you figure in the 70s, you were lucky if you were making $10,000 a year, I mean, if you had a good job.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about how much those e-ticket attractions, how much you were paying to get on those rides.
Yeah. And then just to give everybody, they did have a 2-day ticket book, and that was the 17 ride one. Dude, that was $15 for an adult, 14 for a junior, and 13 for a child. So you really didn't catch a break with that.
Well, the $15 ticket for 2 days there, that's $70.19. So now we know why your family only went for 1 day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
General admission, you could go and not ride anything and just walk around, and that was $6 for an adult, $5 for a junior, and $3 for a child. I told you guys about the disappointing stuff. I didn't get to meet the characters like I was hoping to, and I didn't get to go on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And here's the reason why: you had to have tickets. It wasn't just an all-day pass and go do what you want to do. You had to literally choose. And if you had family members, back then, families didn't, at least at Disney for us, we didn't split and say kids go here and adults are going to go there. We did do that at Kings Island. So it's a little weird that we didn't do it at Disney, other than the fact that Kings Island was a 1 day, all you go do anything you want to do. Where I'm sure my parents didn't trust us to take a ticket book, especially at the cost that we just talked about, to go figure out what we wanted to do for the day. So as a family, we had to pick and choose what we were going to ride, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea didn't make the cut. We had tickets that you had to use to get on rides, but then they had free rides. They were sponsored by corporations, and you didn't have to have a ticket to get on them. And those turned out to be my favorite rides while I was at Disney. And here's why. For one thing, it was all new tech. These rides were just blew us away because it was something that we had never seen before. One of them, and I still love this ride, it's so old and it's almost dying, but Carousel of Progress.
Oh yeah.
That was
One
a
of the best.
free ride, and I love to see old technology versus new technology and watch the growth of that. And Carousel Progress does an incredible job of really letting you see how technology has grown in the progress of America. And of course, it was patriotic. And so you just left that feeling good that we as Americans are doing the right thing and we are making progress. And it just is a feel good show. You got to sit down, it was air conditioned, and there was still a lot of stuff going on. You had all the animatronics, and then the stage. When I was a kid, I thought the chairs moved. Don't just bear with me. That's just what happened.
Probably the version that you saw back then, if they were projecting the future, it's probably a lot of the stuff that actually came to be that we know of, that we presently know of.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember that more from Spaceship Earth when we went in 1982. Dude, we were blown away because they would show stuff that just
for us, it was like, yeah, sure, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's never going to. A record player in a car, which a record player never happened in a car, but a CD player sure did happen.
Yeah, and making phone calls on your watch, that's never
right.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, never going to happen. Us interacting how we're interacting right now. They
oh yeah,
did that with the video conferencing and stuff. They even had it set up anyway.
Yeah.
But I remember even going to eat. Is it Cosmic Rays that is there now?
Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe is where.
Yeah, we went in there to eat, and I'll never forget. Their register was so futuristic. Now it wouldn't be futuristic at all, but it had that screen and the buttons were all digital. Dude, the grocery stores back then were still the hard push button and rigging each item up with each number, and so them pushing a button to bring up a hamburger was incredible. It just was, everything was very futuristic even back then in growth. The next one was If You Had Wings. And If You Had Wings, where you got in a car pretty much just like the car you would ride in Haunted Mansion. And
yeah, it was one of the Disney's Omnimover systems. They used them in a lot of their rides back then.
Right. And so you got on it and you started going, and it was film in motion, right? So you would be in a cart that would move, and Disney's probably really developed this art of making rides with film better than anybody's done it. And I'll never forget that at the end, you would be in this cart and it'd be they go in the same speed, but then you'd have all these images going by you, like skiing. You might probably flying, because it was called If You Had Wings. So it probably had, I mean, I don't remember everything, but it was very much so the precursor to rides like Soaring and precursors to Flight of Passage. If You Had Wings is the precursor, is the granddaddy of all of that.
And where was that located?
It's in Tomorrowland. It's where currently Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. That is where If You Had Wings was. And what you're talking about is called a speed tunnel.
Yeah.
And that speed tunnel is still there. The speed tunnel is still in Buzz Lightyear. So you can still see a part of If You Had Wings. When you ride Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, you're still experiencing that speed tunnel. When you ride, I still call it the People Mover, but it's been TTA, and now it's the TTA People Movers. They've changed it again. But the People Mover, back when you're talking, when you rode that, you could look down through the window and you could see If You Had Wings, just the same as you're looking down through those windows and you see Buzz now. So I think that's pretty cool that you remember that was one of the high points of that ride with, in your memory.
Oh, it was the high. I mean, we rode that thing probably, I don't remember lines, but we definitely rode it more than one time.
It was free, man. Get on it again,
It's
right?
free. You got to take advantage of the free stuff. And then the last one that I remember was Life 360, and it basically was you went in and watched a movie, but it was in 360 degrees all the way around, and it was a wow factor. Not only was the wow factor that you could watch what happened in front of you as well as in back of you. They just had some good cinematography that took good video that made it work. As I'm sitting here, I'm like, maybe I did catch the Disney bug and just didn't realize I caught the Disney bug. I love Disney and everything about it. And to go to Florida without making a stop at Disney World would be almost, I can't imagine doing it. Even when I was on a business trip, I'll be honest, it's not as magical without your family, but it's still a very magical place and a different experience, but very fun. For me, Magic Kingdom just is all of the essence of Disney and everything. Yes. So those are some of my memories and something that I won't ever forget.
Listen to the complete show on your favorite podcast streamer. Follow us on social media at wdwreflectionspodcast. See you real soon.